Hi, I'm James McGuire, and on today's eSpeaks, we're talking about generative AI and building artificial intelligence models. We're taking a look at what companies need to know about these emerging technologies to gain the most competitive advantage. To discuss that, I'm joined by a major industry expert. With me is Ankur Mehrotra, General Manager of SageMaker at AWS. Ankur, absolutely thrilled to have you with us today.
Thanks, James. It's great to talk to you.
You know, I'm amazed at the amount of interest in generative AI. Obviously, it's exploded onto the scene. What are the trends driving the market for generative AI here in mid 2024? And in your conversations with customers, and I know you do talk with a lot of customers, what matters most to companies, and what are companies looking for in terms of a foundational AI model?
James, as you know, generative AI has really been a transformational technology in our industry, and we're seeing customers move quickly to apply generative AI to their existing user experiences to improve user experiences. But we think that there are going to be new user experiences that will also be enabled with the use of this technology. And what we are seeing is that the pace of innovation here is amazing, and there are more and more powerful models being built in every few weeks now. And what we hear from customers is that they really want to use, experiment, and apply the best models to the use cases. So customers are looking for tools to be able to experiment and test these models and then move them to production use quickly. Another thing that we're hearing from customers is that they want to use these models, but they want to do it in a way that ensures security and preserves their data privacy. And that's something that they have trusted AWS for since many years. So many customers are looking to use generative AI models on AWS.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess it's not always. There's certainly going to be a learning curve here. So I guess I'd ask you, what are some of the key challenges that customers are facing as they build these generative AI applications? And one of the things you talked about getting into production, is that an issue? And or privacy and compliance? It seems like that would be an issue that companies grapple with. But what do you see the real headaches?
Yeah, there are a number of challenges that customers face while applying this technology to the use cases. So the first one is that there are many different models that are available now, and what we're seeing now, and this is something that AWS was the first to highlight, is that no one model is actually sufficient to solve or address all use cases. So customers are finding that one model may be better at building a particular kind of user experiences, let's say a chat-based application, versus another generative AI model may be better at assisting with coding or software development. So our customers are finding that they need to use not just one model, but a combination of different models. And they're looking for tools that can help them test and move these models to production use quickly.
Mhm.
Another thing that our customers are a challenge that they're facing is that understanding the risks with the use of these models is important. So you may have heard about hallucinations as a problem with generative AI models, where
Sure.
sometimes they can make things up.
Right.
And there are various other risks that our customers want to understand before they put these models to use for a serious or a mission critical use case. So for instance, they may want to understand the model behavior along a different set of responsible AI parameters, such as bias or toxicity or semantic robustness. So being able to comprehensively evaluate a new generative AI model and then being able to control for those risks while applying the model in production is a key challenge.
Mhm.
At the same time, we're seeing that many times customers want to adapt these models to their own domain, and which requires taking their own data and then fine-tuning the model or using other AI techniques such as in-context learning to be able to tweak the model and have the model adapted to their unique use case or domain and then using the model for their actual use case. And being able to do that can be, time consuming today. And here at AWS, we are building new tools and experiences to help our customers go through that journey quickly and easily. And lastly, James, as you mentioned, security and privacy is really important. So we are focused on helping our customers use these models in a secure and private way so that their data is protected at all times and they're able to safely deploy these models in production and integrate them with their applications.
Interesting. I think it seems like I wonder if one of the challenges is the companies in some cases may lack the expertise in-house. They want to build the model, but they need a helping hand. Did you run into a lot of that in terms of customers? They don't have expertise in-house?
Many times. So we we are really focused on helping customers with all skill sets to be able to apply this technology to their business problems. And we are seeing that, customers, I talked about model evaluation as a capability,
Mhm.
and customers oftentimes don't have the ability to implement algorithms that can comprehensively evaluate these models for production use or understand the risks,
Right.
which is why we launched capabilities for model evaluation through Amazon SageMaker Clarify a few months ago at our reInvent conference, through which customers can take a generative AI model and run it through this tool that we launched and see a comprehensive report around how the model performs across different responsible AI parameters.
Mhm.
And we also see that, as I mentioned, customers want to bring their own data to, fine tune these models, and sometimes customers don't know where to start and how to get started. So we provide simple APIs for customers to get started, pick a model, and be able to tweak certain parameters, and then adapt the model to their use case. And then finally, easily deploy the model also to their use case in a way where the model can scale, the model inference, as it is referred to, can easily scale with the growing demand for the end user application that they're building or applying the model to. So all these are tasks that are involved in the AI lifecycle, which customers are looking to simplify and automate to the extent possible. And that's really what we're focused on, making it easier for our customers.
Mhm. I thought I heard at one point you talked about, in essence, a prefabricated model, pre-built model that the companies could customize. So they're taking that pre-built model and simply putting in their own data. Is that generally how that would work, or including their own parameters?
So we're seeing, this space is really, and the technology is evolving. It's still very early. And so we're seeing customers apply a few different techniques to adapt the models or augment them with their own data. So some of our customers, they have, unique data sets, which they have acquired through, unique interactions between their customers and their applications. Oftentimes the data is domain specific, let's say for a particular vertical, let's say financial services or healthcare, et cetera. And so customers are able to take this data and then and go through a process called fine tuning, which is essentially taking an already pre-trained model and then training it further with their proprietary data to adapt the model to their own domain. So we're seeing customers do that. So SageMaker provides APIs for customers to be able to do this easily and securely. And so we're seeing customers, use fine tuning as a technique. Some customers are also using techniques such as RAG, which is retrieval augmented generation.
Right.
It's a technique where these models have something called as context window. So these through which the models can accept context in which they're expected to generate the response. So our customers are also using that as a technique rather than fine tuning to also adapt these models to the data. So we are really seeing, a number of different approaches being tried and experimented with. And here at AWS, we're really focused on giving our customers choice and freedom to choose different approaches and giving them the best tool for the right job.
Well, on that very subject, us drill down into the SageMaker offering. I know that plenty of leading generative AI foundational models are trained on Amazon SageMaker. So what sets the solution apart? I'll give you a chance to brag about your solution a little bit.
Thank you, James. Yeah, so SageMaker is now, we launched the service more than 6 years ago, and it is now used by hundreds of thousands of AWS customers to build, train, deploy AI models, including generative AI models. And it is the most comprehensive service in terms of capabilities that are purpose-built for every step in the AI lifecycle. So whether it's preparing data to build a model, or creating a model and then training it, which requires specific set of tools to do that at scale, and then taking that model and then deploying it in a cost-efficient way and in a way where the model usage or inference can really scale with the incoming demand. And then also after that, being able to manage a model that is already being used in production. So, for example, monitoring whether a model is continuing to act or behave in a way it's supposed to, and being able to detect if anything in production is changing compared to what is expected. So those are referred to as AI ops processes. And so SageMaker has purpose-built tools for every step of the AI lifecycle and for every persona that is involved. As a few years ago, AI was mostly a data scientist activity where there was a data scientist who was building these models. And over the years, the number of personas that are involved in building end-to-end AI-based solutions has really increased. So from data scientists, we had ML engineers get involved who became responsible for taking these models and then deploying them into production. And then we had other business stakeholders got involved to help convert a business problem into an ML problem. And then we had data engineers get involved to help prepare the data. So with SageMaker, we've really focused on working backwards from our customers, understanding the need, and building the right tool for the right job and for the right persona.
Oh, I think you've talked about this a little bit, but I want to make sure I get the full story. I mean, how is SageMaker helping organizations build transformative Gen AI solutions? Easier said than done, especially considering, as you say, the market is very new. Just want to make sure I get the full story on that.
Yeah, James. So we're seeing customers across various domains and sizes use SageMaker to do generative AI at scale and build generative AI-based solutions. So, for example, if you consider model training, some of the best and state-of-the-art generative AI models have been trained using SageMaker. So customers like Perplexity AI, or Hugging Face, or AI21 Labs, LG AI Research, they've built their generative AI models using SageMaker. And what they like about SageMaker is the fact that it gives you a managed set of capabilities that can scale automatically to help train these models. So one of the challenges with training these generative AI models is that they require a large amount of compute. So typically, there's a model training task, and it gets distributed across a large number of compute instances that have these accelerated compute, also common ones being NVIDIA GPUs, for instance, or AWS's own silicon, such as AWS Trainium. And how these models get trained across a large amount of compute requires specialized skills, and it takes time and resources to do that job. So purpose-built capabilities in SageMaker help customers achieve that in up to 40% less time. So Perplexity, for example, reduced the time to train their generative AI models by up to 40% with SageMaker. And we've seen many other customers train their models through SageMaker as well. And then coming to model inference, that is where being able to deploy a model and host it for inference in a cost-performant way is extremely important. And there are various other factors that are important to customers there, including the latency of models, because inference is how users actually experience these models. So the performance of inference and model hosting is really important. So our customers such as Salesforce are using SageMaker to deploy and host generative AI models for use in their applications and are achieving up to 50% lower latency.
Uh-huh.
And then outside of these capabilities, if you look at the need for automation, which are typically known as AI ops tools, where you have capabilities such as SageMaker pipelines and experiments, which can really help you build automated workflows to create end-to-end AI solutions. Those are also helping our customers, such as NatWest, reduce time it takes to go from a use case you may have in mind to go to production by up to 75%. So we've got customers who are using SageMaker to build AI solutions across the whole spectrum, and they're achieving significant improvements in time and cost and performance.
Mhm. Well, I think the big question is, where are we going in the future of this? Companies really want to know. I mean, clearly this sector is evolving at a blistering rate. What do you see as the near to midterm future of generative AI?
James, so what we're seeing is that first of all, the pace of innovation here is going to continue. And we're going to see a lot of different types of models being built. We hear that these generative AI models are just getting larger and more powerful, but that is true. But we're also seeing other smaller task-specific models also being created. So our customers, when I talk to customers, what I hear is that they foresee having to use multiple models. Some may be task specific, and some may be, others that are more generalized together to achieve their goals.
Hmm.
And the ability to do that quickly and safely and securely is very important to them. The second thing that we are noticing is that models are turning into model systems. So some of our customers are looking into using a collection of models that work in tandem. So for example, one of our customer is deploying a set of different models where one model is responsible for redacting PII from text, and then another model is taking that text and then summarizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to see that customers will now think of these systems as model systems and use a combination of different models that are deployed together. We are also seeing trends where customers want the data to be co-located with these models and really create these model systems that they're using in production. We also think that customers are going to need tools to manage the trade-offs that are involved in use of these models. So for example, for building a highly interactive chat-based application, latency or inference latency is really important. So customers may choose a model that provides them really low latency, even if that comes with a slightly higher cost. Whereas for a back-end business process, some customers are okay with a higher latency if they can
Sure.
save costs. So I think
Right.
the tools that can help our customers manage these trade-offs for the use cases and applications are going to be really important. And that's a key area here at AWS we're focused on.
Just one more follow-up on that. I think the idea of the multiple models is fascinating. I had not heard that one. So it means more than one model would be flowing into an application, would be feeding an application. Is that, I guess we're going to look back at today where some applications usually only have like one model. I think that's really quite primitive. Like perhaps in the future, most scenarios would have multiple models, or actually model systems as opposed to simply a model. Is that correct in your view of the future?
I think so. I think certain models will be good at one task versus other models will be good at a different task, and there may be, differences in terms of cost and performance and relative to the task that the model is being used for. So I think this early trend that we're seeing of multiple models being used in combination is here to stay.
Very interesting. Ankur, thank you so much for sharing your expertise today. I really learned a lot. It's fascinating, and I hope you'll come back and talk with us again sometime.
Thanks, James. It was great talking to you.